Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing 2020 Aime 1, Problem 8. A bug walks all day and sleeps all night. On the first day, it starts at point O, faces east, and walks a distance of 5 units due east. Each night, the bug rotates 60 degrees counterclockwise. Each day, it walks in this new direction half as far as it walked the previous day. The bug gets arbitrarily close to the point P. Then OP squared equals m over n, where m and n are relatively positive integers. Find m plus n. So the first thing I would do is try to draw a roughly accurate diagram for this. So let's say this is point O. Then we're going to walk 5 units to the east, and then we rotate 60 degrees counterclockwise. That means this would be 60 degrees. And then in that new direction, we go 5 over 2. Now again, from here, we're going to rotate 60 degrees like that. And go half the distance. So that would be 5 over 4. And we keep going until it gets to the point P. Now, as you zoom in, you're going to see that it's still continuing, but like from here, you can only see the first few steps. Now, say if we did not half the lengths, then we would just have a regular hexagon. So let's say you kept zooming in. This is 5, this is 5 over 2, this is 5/4, this is 5/8, then you have 5/16, and then for the one going down, you have 5 over 32. After that, you've completed 6 steps, which means now you're going to restart going to the east at exactly 0 degrees. That will be at 5 over 64. And we see that it's going to be just a dilation of our first 6 steps by a factor of 5 over 64. So if we can just find the total change in y and change in x for our first 6 steps, then we can just use this ratio and use a geometric series to find the total change in x and change in y for all of the rotations. So let's create a table. This is just for our first 6 steps. And we'll have 6 steps, so then I'm going to number them 1 through 6. Okay, so on our first step, our x is changing by +5, and then y is changing by 0. For our second step, since the hypotenuse here is 5 over 2, we have this 30, 60, 90 triangle here. And so that would give us that the leg over there is 5 over 4. Then multiplying by square root of 3, we get that the height is going to be plus 5 square root of 3 over 4. And we continue on with this. Now here we have that our hypotenuse is 5 over 4. But then this is 60 degrees here. So that means that the x value is going to change by half of 5 over 4 in the minus direction. So that would be minus 5 over 8. And then our y value will be times square root of 3 of that, but it's still going up. So that means that will be plus 5 square root of 3 over 8. Now for this length here, we're going minus 5 over 8, and our y is not changing. for this length here, our 60-degree angle is over there, which means our x is changing by half of 5/16 in the negative direction. And then our y value is also going down. And finally, for our final length there, I'm just going to draw it bigger here. We had that the hypotenuse is 5/32, and this angle here will be 60 degrees, which means this leg over here is 5/64, and then this would be 5 square root of 3/64. So that means, and we're going forward, which means that's going to be plus 5/64 for changing x, and then we're going down, which means this will be minus 5 square root of 3/64. So now what we can do is we can just add all these 6 steps to find the total change in x and y for the first 6 steps. So doing that quick math here, I get that this sums up to 315/64. And on the y side, I have that it sums up to 105 square root of 3/64. Now I can go back to my ratio. My ratio is 5/64, which means if we zoom into this diagram, we're going to get the same exact figure, but with all the sides being of that ratio. Which means our total change in x for the entire figure will be 315/64. That'll be the first one. Then the next one will be, this should be 1/64. Sorry about that. Then next time we'll have the same change times 1/64, and then that times 1/64 squared, and so on. So we can just factor out the 315/64 and then get 1 plus 1/64 plus 1/64 squared plus 1/64 cubed, and so on. And this I know is equal to 64/63. So when I have 315/64 times 64/63, this cancels out and it's equal to 5. So that's, oh my god. Okay, that's my total change in x for the entire figure. Now for change in y total, I'll do the same exact thing. I'm going to have 105 square root of 3/64 times that same ratio, and I'll have the same sum of the ratios like here. And so I'll be multiplying by 64/63 again. 64's cancel out. You can simplify this fraction to become 5 square root of 3/3. So this is my total change in y. Now all we have to do is Pythagorean theorem. So we'll have OP squared is equal to 5 squared plus 5 square root of 3/3 squared. This equals 25 plus 25 over 3. And that equals 100 over 3. Going back to the question, it says to find the sum of the numerator and denominator. So this will give us 103. So our final answer is 103. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.